I got released from prison after 10 years, and my son asked, "Are you the man from the photos?" I stood on the front porch holding a plastic bag with my belongings, staring at the 12-year-old boy who answered the door. He had my eyes and my mother's chin, but everything else was unfamiliar. My voice came out rough. "Ethan, it's me. It's your dad." He stepped back and called over his shoulder. "Mom, there's a man here who says he's my dad." His hand was on the door, ready to slam it. My ex-wife Diane appeared behind him, and her face went white. "Vincent, you're early. They said next month." Before I could respond, a man appeared behind her, tall and protective. "Honey, what's wrong?" He saw me, and his expression hardened. "Who the hell are you?" The words hit like a fist. "I'm her husband." The man stepped forward. "David Morrison died in prison 3 months ago. There was a memorial service, so I don't know who you are, but you need to leave before I call the police." My stomach dropped. David Morrison, that was my cellmate's name. "What are you talking about?" "I'm Vincent Cross. I just got released this morning." Diane's face shifted from shock to something else. Fear. Real, genuine fear. She grabbed Ethan and pulled him behind her. "Vincent died. They called me, sent me his personal effects. I buried him." Her voice was shaking, but there was calculation in her eyes I recognized from our marriage. She was lying. I could see it in the way she wouldn't meet my gaze directly, in the way her hand tightened on Ethan's shoulder. "Diane, what the hell is going on? I've been calling the number I had, but it was disconnected. Why would you tell him I'm dead?" The man, who I now realized was living in my house with my family, pulled out his phone. "I'm calling the cops. Identity theft, harassment, whatever this is." Ethan was staring at me with wide eyes. "Are you really my dad? Mom showed me photos, but you look different." I pulled out my release papers, my ID, everything I had. "Look at these. I'm Vincent Cross. I was released this morning from Millbrook Correctional. I served 10 years for vehicular manslaughter. I don't know what you were told, but I'm alive, and I just want to see my son." Diane's face was doing something strange, cycling through emotions too fast. The man looked at my documents, and his expression changed. "These look legitimate." He turned to Diane. "Honey, what's happening here?" She was breathing fast now, almost hyperventilating. "I got a call from the prison. They said Vincent died. Complications from an infection. They sent me a death certificate, his wedding ring, his watch. I held a memorial service. I buried an urn with his ashes." Her voice was getting higher, more panicked, but I saw something underneath. She was performing. "Diane," my voice was cold. "Where's the death certificate?" She flinched. "Inside. I'll get it." She disappeared into the house, leaving me on the porch with this man and my son who didn't know me. The man extended his hand hesitantly. "Austin Bennett. I've been with Diane for 3 years. She told me her husband died in prison, and she needed help with Ethan. I moved in about 2 years ago. 3 years. So she'd started this relationship while I was still inside, still very much alive. Ethan was still staring at me. "Do you know how to play soccer?" The random question caught me off guard. "Yeah, buddy. I played in high school." He nodded slowly. "Mom said my dad was good at soccer. That's one of the only things she ever told me about you." Diane returned with a folder and pulled out a document. It was a death certificate with my name on it, dated 3 months ago. Cause of death listed as septic shock from untreated infection. Signed by a Dr. Raymond Hughes at Millbrook Medical Unit. I stared at it, my hands shaking. "This is fake. I was never sick. I was in Gen Pop the whole time until my release this morning. Dr. Hughes is real, but he never treated me for anything serious." Austin took the certificate and examined it carefully. "This looks official. State seal, proper signatures, everything." He pulled out his phone and started searching. "But if you're alive and these release papers are real, then someone went through a lot of trouble to fake your death." Diane was crying now, her whole body shaking. "I don't understand. They called me. A woman from the prison. She said you died and they were shipping your body to the county morgue. I went there. I saw the body. My blood went cold." "You saw a body? You identified it as me?" She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "They said you'd been sick for weeks, and by the time they found you, it was too late. The body was. It was badly decomposed, but it was your height, your build. They had your prison ID. I thought it was you." Austin's face was grim. "This is way above our pay grade. We need to call the police and figure out what's happening here." But I was putting pieces together, pieces that made me sick. "Diane, when did they call you about my death?" She wiped her eyes. "March 15th, about 2 in the afternoon. March 15th. That was the day my cellmate David Morrison actually died. He'd been sick for weeks, and the medical unit had ignored it until it was too late. He'd been about my height and build." "Diane, you didn't identify me. You identified David Morrison, my cellmate. He died on March 15th from an infection they didn't treat, but someone told you it was me." Her face went even paler. "Why would someone do that? Why would they tell me you were dead if you weren't?" I looked at her carefully, at the fear and confusion that seemed real, but had layers underneath I didn't trust. "That's what I want to know. Who benefits from me being declared dead?" Austin's phone rang, and he stepped away to answer it, leaving me with Diane and Ethan. My son was still watching me with those careful, evaluating eyes. "If you're really my dad, tell me something only he would know." The rest of the story is on my channel, or linked below.